Easy now, just quiet down, easy. You're here with me, easy, and I'm not leaving.
Izzy, Shana, Jesse, the amazing cast and creative team behind the Tony-nominated Water for Elephants.
Yay.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. So you all were a part of the production when it debuted in Atlanta. So you have fully seen the evolution of it from there to the Broadway stage. What has it been, you know, both from a technical perspective and from a creative perspective, seeing that transition?
Well, it's like when you watch a child grow up. In a way, it happens slowly enough that you don't really see the steps, but then one day you kind of step back and think, oh my gosh, this is a whole new being. So I mean, I think it's sort of both. At the same time, on the one hand, it feels like nothing changed, and on the other hand, it feels like a whole new show. So, but we're so close to it. Sometimes it's great when we'll have a guest or someone come and they'll say something about the changes or the cohesion.
Someone who attended Atlanta
Exactly,
and saw it there, and then saw the gradual process, especially through previews, and all of a sudden we're so narrow, sort of focused on very specific things that we want to fix before we open, and then realizing actually in the macro picture it's huge changes. The thing has evolved immensely.
Izzy, I know that you have a dance background.
I do.
But you said you didn't have any kind of acrobatic background, things like that. You have this beautiful trapeze number within the show. What was it like working with Shana and kind of getting comfortable doing what you're doing?
Yeah, thrilling is the blanket word I would use to describe it, but I've always been a daredevil, and I think I trained as a dancer for 12 years, and once I got the strength training up to be on the trapeze, I realized that, oh, this is just an adagio on ropes, just, 15 feet in the air. And so when we were training for Atlanta, the idea was floated that Marlena would be on the trapeze. And initially, our director and Shana described it as just a moment where I was just going to sit and they were going to raise it and spin it. And I always knew in the back of my mind that I was like, I'm going to push this as far as I possibly can. I want to learn as much as I can, and I want to have the expression of circus and character be as seamless as possible. So it really felt that Marlena is an actual circus artist. And so when we were putting up the show in Atlanta, there were just so many elements that oftentimes Shana would be working on stage with acrobats and I would be off to the side in a training area with one or two acrobats, and they'd show me a couple moves or tricks, and I started learning through failure and trying and failing, and then we somehow cobbled together a routine in Atlanta that felt clunky at first and then eventually seamless. And and even still, when we got to Broadway, I wanted to push the boundaries even more and do something more elaborate and exciting. But as Shana pointed out, restraint is key in terms of servicing the story. So sometimes it's not always about.
She'd be able to do so much. Honestly, she has so much potential as a trapeze artist. And there was a whole secondary routine we created that was, practically a contortion piece. And in fact, I think it was very much that thing of but it takes us away from the emotion in the story, because now it's ooh, it's more impressive than it is moving.
Right.
But Izzy has crazy potential.
Dance, circus, acrobatics, they're all used, you previously have said, as almost like a storytelling device in this production as well. It's not like we're just putting someone up on a trapeze in between, scenes. So what was it like for you two specifically to kind of use those physical elements to lend itself to the story?
I mean, it's interesting because Shane and I talk a lot about the fact that we were in an arranged marriage, and so we had never worked together before. So coming together was this new relationship and new collaboration for the two of us. And the nice thing about our backgrounds is that we both came from a very choreographic dance background and circus background, so languages we found very similar, and ways to communicate we found very similar. And so when we were sort of talking in terms of a narrative sense and creating storytelling, we would both be pulling from similar bags of steps and material and ideas, and those things sort of would mash together, and then this sort of tertiary event would happen, and we'd go, oh, wait, it's that. And so we would move down this new sort of lineage that sort of somehow enhanced or supported the story in a new way that neither of us sort of had done before, which was, I mean, we talk a lot about one of the teachers we both had, and one of the things we always spoke about with that teacher is that you know, I've seen that before, or I've done that before, or that's not new, or that's not a reinvention of that. And that was something that the two of us kept looking for in terms of storytelling, so we wouldn't fall into the same lineages we had done before, which was interesting.
We paid a visit to the Imperial ahead of one of your matinee performances to see the acro team kind of in action, and I think, you know, like I said, seeing it in its full form is something, but like seeing what these people are putting, you know, themselves through, like you said, 8 times, I still can't get over that. What is it like, you know, Izzy, for you? What did you learn from working with this talented group of athletes that, you know, are right up there with you every night?
Yeah, I've learned so much from them, both personally and professionally. I think circus artists define work hard, play hard. You know, they are the most capable and trustworthy professionals in the industry because their jobs are literally to save each other from, you know, these death-defying stunts, and because of that, their communication is very clear. I think they are all very intuitive and are not afraid to advocate for themselves and for others, which is really refreshing, especially coming from an industry where we've been told, you know, to be quiet until we've been spoken to, or, you know, to try things without any pushback. And they are able to advocate in ways that are not disrespectful, that are more collaborative, and I think that's been very inspirational. The world is so much more vibrant and full of opportunity as a circus artist, and so it's been wonderful to see it through their eyes, and then also have this beautiful integration of mediums.
So 7 Tony nominations, including Best Musical, including Best Choreography right here. What was the reaction? What was when you found out the news for you both?
I was shocked.
That silence in speech was exactly how we felt in the moment.
Yeah.
We laughed because Shana called me immediately, but we were both with our partners, with our other halves, and mine was in Chicago at the time, and we were 3 seconds delayed, so he heard it before I did. So he was screaming on the phone. I was, is it good, is it bad? I don't know. And trying to understand because I couldn't see it on the screen. And then Shana was in another room.
I was having a similar story where I didn't want to watch it live, and I didn't know that my husband was watching it live, and I was just trying to refresh a page that would have it listed. And then he came out of the room screaming, like, "Oh, you got it!" And it was the same thing.
It was the same thing.
Are you joking?
Yes. So then there was like a sort of triangulation of being on the phone and on Zoom and I'm with Shana and with our other halves and from other rooms. So it was quite wild. It was sort of this, you know, party of folks from all different places in that moment. But it was shock.
Yeah, and also it's just such an incredible year, I'd say. I mean, in general for Broadway, I mean, it's just epic. But also really for choreography, I mean, there's just the other nominees and the other works out there. It's just, I mean, such a celebration of movement and innovation, and I'm a fan of every other nominee in our category. So it also just feels like such an incredible honor and humbling to be in, like, on that list with those people. So I'd say that as well.
And so well deserved. I wasn't surprised.
Yes.
I screamed too, but I wasn't surprised.
Oh my goodness. And Izzy, how did it feel for you? I mean, you know, you came out of Shucked, another like critically acclaimed production, and now you're here. Like, how does it feel for you?
Oh, I am so overwhelmed. I am so grateful to be a part of the show. You know, when I joined it, every cell in my body lit up, and I knew that I would do whatever it took to be a part of this production on Broadway. And so just to be a part of this company, and I was sitting next to these two on this couch celebrating our show is thrilling. I screamed as well in the morning that we got.
I just want to say, I mean, Izzy was the only Marlena we ever had. I mean, we've had covers and everything, but she joined for the workshop we did in 2000. What was it? 22. And I feel like I've watched her grow up as Marlena, watch Marlena grow up, and there's this way that for me it's like the two are just like inseparable in my brain and heart, and she's really given so much life to the character and the show. So it's just anyway, I'm her biggest fan. It is Marlena.
It is a brilliant time for Broadway, and Water for Elephants is doing so much for that. So I want to thank you all for being here, like I said, during a very busy and important week for all of you. So thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you so much.